Hello everyone, this is Daughter Darkness, and today it's a kind of mini revival of an old series that I had. If anyone's been around in this channel for a long time, they'll remember that at the end of 2014, start of 2015, I had this series going on called The Voice Actors of Kingdom Hearts. So now, given that I'm doing more and more Final Fantasy content, I thought I'd restart the series with this, The Voice Actors of Final Fantasy. Where better place for us to start than Final Fantasy X, the first game with voice acting and considered by many, including myself, to be one of the greatest games in the Final Fantasy series. Best place to start with Final Fantasy X is with the main character, Tidus, or whatever you ended up choosing to call him. He was voiced by James Arnold Taylor, who, I guess he's not a huge name, but he's done a lot of voice work that a lot of people would probably recognize. He does a lot of different voices. He's almost an impressionist. He's most well known for filling in for people who had already been these characters, doing the characters in the voices of people who'd played them before. For example, in the Clone Wars and Rebels Star Wars series, he fills in for Ewan McGregor and voices Obi-Wan Kenobi, while in Kingdom Hearts 2, he voices Jack Sparrow in the place of Johnny Depp. And he also filled in for Johnny Depp in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory video game. And in the sequel to Atlantis, he covered for Michael J. Fox's character Milo. Aside from that, he does have some roles in some cartoon series from the 1990s and 2000s, including Teen Titans, where he voiced Overload, and then also smaller roles in Johnny Bravo, Woody the Woodpecker, Pokemon, Scooby-Doo, the Powerpuff Girls, Codename Kids Next Door, and Danny Phantom, as well as others. More later on, he did do some kind of Marvel series. He played Harry Osborn in the Spectacular Spider-Man series, as well as the Human Torch and others in Hulk and the Agents of Smash series, and in the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series, he voiced Cosmo and Yondu. His largest video game role, probably the one which he's most well known for now, I suppose, with the movie, which, despite its mixed success, it has sort of put the game series on the map. He voices Ratchet in the Ratchet & Clank series. He's been voicing him since the second game, so yeah, that's James Arnold Taylor, who's been in quite a lot of stuff. So next, someone who's not been in quite so much is Hedy Burress, the voice actor for Yuna. She began her career in a film called Foxfire, where she played Maddie Wirtz, but is most well known for her role in some TV shows. She Wileen Pritchett in Boston Common and Joni Moore in ER. She also had some guest appearances in some other shows like CSI, Shameless, Criminal Minds. She's most well known for appearing in crime dramas and that kind of thing, but, you know, since then, she's also obviously voiced Yuna in basically everything Final Fantasy that Yuna's been involved in. Obviously 10-2, where she was the lead character, and then Dissidia Final Fantasy, and of course Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. She's not been in a huge amount, but that's Yuna. So next, Auron, who's voiced by Matt McKenzie. He obviously also voices Auron in Kingdom Hearts 2, and he was in the Final Fantasy movie The Spirits Within, where he voiced Major Elliot. He was also Borgoth in the English dub of the animated film Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, but before that he appeared in another film called Gods and Monsters, where he starred alongside Ian McKellen and played a character called Colin Clive. He's not really had any huge roles. Aside from these, he's had a lot of small roles. He'd be a character who'd appear in individual episodes of several TV shows. He was in Star Trek Deep Space Nine as well as Voyager. He was in Murder, She Wrote and Dallas. And more recently, he played Agent Hollister for a few episodes in 24 and Crab Coulson in Mad Men. We continue through our party with Wakka and Kimari, who are both voiced by John DiMaggio. He's got so many stuff that he's been in that I can't really go through all of them today. He's most well known for voicing Bender in the Futurama series and all of the movies for Futurama, as well as Simpsons crossovers and that kind of thing. And he also voices Marcus Fenix, who is the main character in the Gears of War series, but he has had a lot of roles in cartoon series as well as that. He voiced the Scotsman in Samurai Jack, he was Dr. Draken in Kim Possible, the Crusher in Duck Dodgers, and he was Brother Blood in Teen Titans. He also, in the original 2D animated Star Wars Clone Wars series, he voiced General Grievous. Aside from that, he was also Foo Dog in American Dragon and Jake the Dog in Adventure Time, as well as voicing Manly Dan and others in Gravity Falls. He's also appeared in a number of video games. For example, he played several villains in the LEGO Marvel Superheroes game and the Hammer of Sauron in Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. He's also appeared in a couple of films, including he voiced Leadfoot in Transformers Dark of the Moon and Riku the Penguin in the Madagascar series. And yeah, as I said before, apologies if I missed anything important, but this guy has appeared in a lot of stuff. You know, even so much that he voices 2 people in Final Fantasy X, not just 1. So I can't get everything in, I've just tried to get the highlights. And now we move on to Lulu, who was voiced by Paula Tiso. Lulu was basically her most famous role. She hasn't appeared in a huge amount of other things. She had some small parts in Dexter's Laboratory, Rugrats, and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And she also voiced Jill Nabat in the Final Fantasy XIII series, and Vijun in The Wonderful 101. And more recently, she voiced Camilla and Orochi in Fire Emblem Fates. And she appeared as Uka in the anime series Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, but Lulu has basically been the biggest role she's had, having done that in both Final Fantasy games. It's what she's most well known for. Now to finish our party, we have Tara Strong, who is the voice of Riku, and she is another really prolific voice actor, particularly in cartoons. Some of the roles that she had really surprised me. She started her career off with the main role in Hello Kitty's Fairy Tale Theatre, but then she went to go on to voice some really surprising cartoon characters. In Fairly Odd Parents, she voiced Timmy Turner. In Rugrats, she voiced Dill. She was also Bubbles in the Powerpuff Girls, Ben in Ben 10, Raven in Teen Titans, Terrence in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and Twilight Sparkle in My Little Pony. Additionally, she's the singing voice of Meg Griffin in Family Guy, and has some other roles in that series. She also has a bit of an association now with the Batman series. She's been a long-standing voice actor for Barbara Gordon or Batgirl in a lot of various Batman things, and also in the Arkham games, City and Night specifically, as well as in some other Batman games. She voiced Harley Quinn. Her voice work as Barbara Gordon will extend even to the upcoming film The Killing Joke. She also has some significant video game roles. She played Presea in the Tales of Symphonia game, Kira in Jak 3, Talwyn in the Ratchet & Clank Future series, and she was also the title role in Fat Princess, Paz in Metal Gear Solid, and Wonder Pink in The Wonderful 101. That's all that I have for her. There is a lot more. She's been in so much. Again, I'm sorry if I've missed something important, but there's already so much here. So many things that I'm surprised happen to be voiced by the same person who voices Riku. But anyway, that's the main party done, so I guess now we go on to the supporting cast. And we can start with Jecht, which is obviously Tidus's father, and he's voiced by Gregg Berger. His most famous role was voicing Odie in various Garfield series and cartoons. He does have some roles in some animated series. For example, he voiced Kraven the Hunter and Mysterio in Spider-Man, and Grimlock in various Transformers projects, but he's mainly appeared in video games. He was the Red Monkey in Ape Escape 3, Borneo and Jirak in Dark Chronicle, or Dark Cloud 2 as it's known in North America. He was Q in James Bond Nightfire. He was Eeyore in Kingdom Hearts 2. He also voiced Ripto in the Spyro series, as well as Hunter the Cheetah, and in the video game of The Phantom Menace, he voiced Darth Maul. But that's pretty much it for Gregg Berger, so next is Andrew Philpot, who voiced Lord Braska. He was also in Final Fantasy XII. He played Prince Razzler, but he's mainly known for his roles in English dubs of anime series. He voiced Kaz in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Yuri Maru in Ninja Scroll, and Jason Gray in Pet Shop of Horrors, but he hasn't really been in all that much as an actor. Next is Sid. Of course, Sid, a recurring character sort of in the Final Fantasy series, is voiced by Michael McShane in Final Fantasy X. He was initially successful in the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?, but then he went on to appear as FDR in Seinfeld, and then played Friar Tuck in Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, before voicing Shalulu in the English dub of the Studio Ghibli film Castle in the Sky. He became more known for live performances. He was in West End shows. He did a version of Assassins and Little Shop of Horrors. in West End theatres. But he did play Mr. Grail in the Doctor Who episode The Angels Take Manhattan, so that might be where some people could know him from. But that's the supporting cast over with, so now to finish off, finally, let's get on to the villains. Start with Maester Seymour with his kind of weird, distinctive, kind of creepy voice, which is provided by Alex Fernandez. He appeared in a few TV shows. He was Advisor Prado in Commander-in-Chief, and Raffi in Without a Trace, but he's mostly known for appearing in video games. Some sort of random roles, I suppose. He was Uka Uka in Crash Twinsanity, and then he played Carlito Keys in Dead Rising, and provided some additional voices for Final Fantasy XIII, Call of Duty Black Ops, as well as Star Wars The Old Republic. So that's him done, and finally, someone who hasn't been in all that much, but she is an important, if small, part of Final Fantasy X, the bane of everyone's existence, Lady Yunalesca, who is voiced by Julia Fletcher. She also voiced Elma in Final Fantasy X, and was Eleanor Varrett in the Valkyria Chronicles series, and again, she hasn't been in a huge amount, but she was in some anime series like the Animatrix. She was the instructor in that. She was Mid in Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals, and she voiced Nikome, Azami, and Utsushie, sorry for my pronunciation, in Ninja Scroll. But that's basically it for her, and that's it for Final Fantasy X. A lot of voice actors here, some of whom are a lot bigger than others, and I hope there's something that you guys have learned. You know, if there's someone who's been in something that you knew and now you'll be like, oh, that's there. But I don't know when the next time I'll do this will be, but chances are the next game I will do is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, so please look forward to that. And in the meantime, if you like this video, please like it, and subscribe to my channel, as well as comment your thoughts on any of these voice actors if you wish, and as always, thank you for watching.